This car is worth $7,000, but I picked it up for $1,600. The most obvious problem this car has is that the bumpers are mismatched. So before I even bought it, I had sourced another set of bumpers from a car at a junkyard 2 hours away. The bumpers themselves were $200, and the gas to get there and back using my truck was about $50. I saved all of the hardware from when I uninstalled the bumper at the junkyard, that way if my car was missing anything, I was able to replace it. The process for removing these bumpers was pretty simple, especially since I already had experience doing it when I pulled these off of the car at the junkyard. The last thing I needed to do to get these bumpers free from the car was to unhook the fog lights. With the bumper free, it was a good time to check underneath and see if there was any damage from any crashes or impacts of any kind. The new bumper didn't come with fog lights installed, so I had to pull everything off of the old bumper, the first of which were the plastic housings that went right over the fog lights. The second part was the fog lights themselves, which were installed with 2 screws. The screws didn't go into the bumper themselves, but rather these metal screw grommets that were inserted over these plastic holes. I moved those screw grommets over to the new bumper so that I could install the fog lights on it. This fog light swap was not something I had thought about before I bought this bumper, so I'm really thankful that this ended up working out as well as it did. Now that the fog lights were moved over, it was time to hook them back up and start installing the new bumper. The rear bumper was even more simple, just 2 bolts in the trunk area, a couple in the wheel wells, and then 2 underneath the car. The rear struts for my trunk were also going bad, so I had ordered 2 new ones and figured this was the perfect time to install those as well. These cost me about $14 each. Now the trunk closes much more softly and pops open when you press the button. For a grand total of $280, I've taken this car from looking clapped and trashed to looking beautiful, and we're one step closer to selling it for what it's worth.